Hi guys, today we're going to talk about Pep Guardiola joining Manchester City. We know what kind of football he's into. He wants possession, he wants to dominate teams, and I think he can do that with Manchester City. And firstly, we're just going to see that he's managed Barcelona, he's managed Bayern Munich, he's been successful at both. So what can he bring to Manchester City that's not already there? So first we're going to look at the team. Now, I've put this team out, I don't know, I think it's kind of realistic. I've got off what people have said the players they could sign and then whether you think they're actually going to happen. So first we're going to start with the goalkeeper. I've kept it at Joe Hart. They've talked about Manuel Neuer, I think in the papers recently, Bravo, but I don't think they're going to be signing a new first team goalkeeper. I think Joe Hart can play the sweeper keeper role and Guardiola can settle with that. In defence we've got the pairing of Kompany and Otamendi at the back. Now I think they'll definitely sign a centre back as you can see on the bench, but we're going to go over to that later. I think Kompany and Otamendi, they have the potential to be the best centre back partnership in the Premier League, maybe the best in Europe. They really are two really good centre backs. Kompany obviously the captain, the leader. Otamendi's a brilliant player as well. They can both just play together really well. And the fullbacks, I've picked two new fullbacks, youthful. We'll start with Aria. Aria is, talks about leaving PSG due to some comments he made, and he's apparently available for like 20 million euros. He's definitely a good choice. We can move on Sanya. He's younger, he's more youthful. He'll add a lot to the team. Then we have David Alaba on the left. Now I wasn't sure between him, maybe Alexandro, Gaia. Gaia's younger. I think that Alaba can bring something new to the team. Obviously, he can play in midfield, he can play in the wing, he can play as centre back, he can play anywhere. I think he's definitely going to be Pep's first choice for left back, and I think he's one of the best left backs in the world, and he's only about 23, so definitely a choice. Then we've got Granit Xhaka. He made some comments about he wanted to join Manchester City, he couldn't turn him down, he wants to play for Pep. And I feel that for City he can play the Sergio Busquets role, or the Xavi Alonso role. He's maybe not the best of defenders, but he can definitely tackle, he's strong, and he can pass the ball really far. He's got great passing range and vision. He's definitely going to play the Busquets, the Xavi Alonso role, and I think that will really help City, because we haven't really had one of them players. Then in midfield we've got Ilkay Gundogan. I think he's another one. He wants to join City. Apparently he's told Barca he is going to join City. We want new midfielders because I feel like Toure might move on, and I think Gundogan can definitely play that role really well, that box-to-box midfielder. And on the left of the midfield, we've got Paul Pogba. He's one that's been talked about for a very long time. He's got a big price tag. He's definitely the next Yaya Toure. He can definitely replace Toure. He's got the ability. He's only 23 years old. This is going to be a lot more youthful team, and I think he can bring a lot to the team. When City have played against Juventus, Pogba's always played really well in the game. I've been impressed by him, and I think he's one of the players that Pep would like to join. I think he said it in one of his interviews. And the front three, I'm keeping the same. I don't think we're going to sign anyone attacking wise apart from a younger player on the bench, but we've got Aguero up front, of course. He can be the next Lionel Messi in this team. I think him, if you look at Guardiola, he's done what he's done with Lewandowski and done with Messi and Aguero. He can just do the same, and he's going to just bang in maybe more than 30 goals a season. Not that he's not doing it already, but I think he will, especially like Gundogan, Xhaka and Pogba in behind. And then the wings, we've got De Bruyne and Sterling. Sterling can really become maybe one of the best players, English players ever, and I think that he has the potential. I think Pep can bring it out of him and play him like, the way Ribery, Robin or Douglas Costa, that kind of player, and I think he can really do amazing. And De Bruyne is just going to get better and better under Guardiola, and that's going to prove what a top player he is. I think he can feed balls into Aguero, Sterling can. I think they'll all be getting goals up front. I think they will sign a striker, and that's why I've got one on the bench. And I wasn't sure whether to put in maybe a Lewandowski, but I think maybe a bit too far-fetched. I mean, if we sign Alaba, we won't be signing any more big name signings from Bayern Munich. So on the bench we've got Zila. Now Caballero's a bit old. I think he's a hero at Wembley in the Qatar One Cup final, but I think he will be moved on. And I think that we're bringing Zila. He counts as English goalkeeper because he played for United for about 5 years. He'll cost around 3 million if his team get relegated in a clause in his contract, so he'd be a good signing. And I've kept Zabaleta on the bench because everyone loves Zabaleta. I think he can do what Philipp Lahm's done at Bayern. He might play in centre back, he might play full back, he might play defensive midfield. I think he can be like David Alaba as well, just move about. Then Aymeric Laporte, he's been talked about that City have agreed to sign him. He's a young centre back. I think we're taking a risk by spending so much money on him. But if Barcelona want him, I think he's definitely going to be better than David Alaba. I mean, Elikin Mangala, who I think he will be moved on because he's not done so well. He's shown signs of something there and there, but he's 25 now. He should be hitting his peak, and he's not good enough. And I think Pep will get rid of him. And because Mangala isn't a ball-playing centre-back, then I think Laporte is, and he's got a good jump on him, and I think he can partner either Otamendi or Kompany at the back, and that'll be good. There's been talk of John Stones. I think he's just going to be too much, and despite being English, Laporte is a much better player. Then we've got Fernandinho. Obviously, everyone knows Fernandinho. Everyone loves Fernandinho. He's a brilliant player. He's one of these who can play anywhere. I think he's going to be, again, someone who's going to be used a lot. The same as Delph. I think Delph will stay and be used a lot. Then we've got David Silva on the bench. This one I wasn't so sure about. I don't know if David will stay because I don't know if he fits the way Pep wants to play football, and he might sign maybe a Koke or an Isco or someone like that. But I can't see them staying on the bench. So I've just kept David in there because he's been a top player for City for many years now. I'd love City to keep him. Then we've got Leroy Sané, another one. A lot like Sterling, I think, in a way. He's just a pacey winger. He's good at dribbling. He can develop. He's only really young, and yeah, he's going to cost a lot of money, but he could be a great investment. We have some kids in the youth team though that can obviously play just as good as him. Then finally, striker. I could have gone for anyone really. I know Bonny. I can't stand him. He's an awful player. I think he'll go. And I've picked Paulo Dybala. Now, maybe the next Aguero. He's a top player. I could have picked him. I could have picked Lewandowski. I just wasn't sure, but I felt like Dybala fitted the mould of the kind of Guardiola striker, of kind of small, powerful, pacey, you know, very skillful. And I think that as a backup to Aguero, he can definitely score lots of goals, and then we can have another backup, which is Inacho. He'll probably play in the wings as too, because he's another top player that's coming through the youth. So here are the expected signings prices of what I think we could be signing them for. I could be overestimating the price, I could be underestimating the price, I'm not quite sure. But overall, it gives us around £313 million spend. Remember, money is no object, it's said to be, under Guadiola, to make his new team that's going to win the Champions League and the Premier League for a long time. And then the departures, we've got Caballero, Demichelis, Clichy, Kolarov, Sagna, Mangala, Toure, Fernando, Nasri, Navas, Bonny. Again, these players not good enough. I expect them to go. The total will be about 131 million, which gives us minus 182 million spend in net. That's not too bad, I don't think. Remember, these players aren't good enough, and again, I could be overestimating what we could get for them, or underestimating, I'm not quite sure. And here we have 4 players that I think could be promoted from the youth team into the first team. First, Angelino. I think he's good enough to play backup for Alaba. We don't need to buy another left back. I think it's about time he's given his chance. He's impressed every time I've seen him play. I think he could definitely play backup. Then we have Alexi Garcia, a player that I think Guardiola will like. He can sit deep, he can pass the ball well. I think he's quite good defensively as well. Maybe a Xavi kind of mould player that I think Guardiola will see and think he has the potential to be in the first team in a couple of years. Then we have Jason Denayer. He's been out on loan. He should have been in the team this year, but you know, we bought Otamendi. It was a good buy, but I think he could have done better than Mangala, and I think next year he'll definitely be there as the 4th choice centre back for being picked. Then lastly, we have Angus Gunn. He's another one that I think Richard Wright will be told to move on. I think Angus Gunn can come in and play the 3rd choice goalkeeper role. He counts as English player. He's good enough to like be a 3rd choice, and I think he'd be given his chance. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe.